Hi everyone, thank you all so much for joining me again. And if this is the first time that you found my channel, then welcome. It's so good to have you here. I am just going to read some poems from my book, Mixed Emotions, Poetry for the Soul, Healing from Toxic Relationships, and talk a little bit about them as I go. Today I will be starting with a poem called Confusion. And this one was written in 2001, and really it's about yet another toxic relationship in my life, one that only lasted a few months but was just a mess the whole way through. Confusion. Kept in feeling, silent heart, thoughts kept hidden from the start, words unsaid consume my head, I almost wished to die instead. The dream seemed real, yet I woke still, oh these feelings I long to kill, locked in memory, lost for life. I wish I could stop this turning knife. I close my eyes and see your face. How do I get myself out of this place? Secrets to keep, tears to weep. It even gets to me at night while I sleep. I know it was wrong, and that's why you are gone. I hope this hurting will stop as time goes on. Chaos, confusion, and hurting inside. Lies, deceit, and a blow to my pride. Phone calls unanswered and unreturned. I've heard so much talk. Are there any true words? I can't keep on living a lifetime of fears, a long time of suffering that could last for years. I don't want the sorrow, I do not need this pain, but for whatever has happened, I will take all the blame. The next one that I'll be reading today, probably the last one for this video, is called Break Me. This one I wrote at the end of 2023, and at that point I was really struggling so hard just to make it through every day that it felt like every day was a fight for my life. So that's where this one comes from. So hard to breathe, can't hold on, letting go until I'm gone. More to do than can be done, even for four, but I'm only one. I breathe in and out again, but it's like no air is getting in. It doesn't matter what I do. How am I ever going to make it through? Needing a moment, a second at least, feeling as though I've been physically beat. There are no words for the way that I feel. Am I nothing but a hamster on a wheel? But I'm not giving up. I refuse to quit. Defeat is something I will never admit. I will fight till I'm dead and all that that means. I will bleed and I will heal as long as I'm in the ring. The gloves are off now and I'm ready to go. So cue up the lights and let's start this shit show. I've been known to give as good as I take. In the end, we will see if you can make me break. I was debating whether or not I would go ahead and do this next one today. It's not super long or anything. I'm just trying to make sure I don't go too long with these videos, and it's one that I'll definitely need to talk a little bit about, but I'll read it first and then I'll talk about it. It's called My Failures, and I wrote this one in 2009. I was going through a lot at that point. I guess I'm always going through a lot, but you'll understand when I'm done with it, I reckon. Ashamed of all my failures, dwelling on my troubled past, foolish enough to believe that anything good would ever last. Buried in my mind, hiding from my anguished thoughts, all my beloved memories have been turned into haunts. Trying hard not to cry for fear of it taking over me, closing tight my eyes to things that I don't want to see. Burning hot this fire, and yet I feel so cold. I can feel my body dying. Will it ever grow old? Leaning hard on the ending, relying on my broken strength. I can feel it dissipate as it continues to grow weak. So many things I had planned, things I feel I was meant to do. Instead, I have done nothing until my time here is almost through. The failure that I've always been is the failure that I am again, my life forever riddled with the scars left behind by all of my sins. I am worthless, I am nothing, like I've always been before. Should have known better than to think I could ever be more. I am no more than a soul who was never meant to be, so how could there ever be a place in this world for me? In a lot of ways, that poem screams of the desperation that I found myself in. Desperately trying to escape the inner and outer world that inwardly I heard the ghostly voices of all the times in the past I was told I wasn't good enough and I was a failure and I'd never amount to anything and that I was stupid and all of the things like that. And outwardly, even after some hope of thinking things could be better and that I could make something of myself or do the things that I felt like I was supposed to do, I was at that point deep in the middle of being reminded on a pretty regular basis that it was all for nothing because it would never amount to anything and that I was stupid for even trying. So that's where that poem came from. But that's not where I am today. And I understand that I needed to go through a lot of that stuff to help build me up to where I am today. So I'm nowhere near the end of my healing journey, but I've come a lot farther, and I can actually get through that poem without starting to cry. So I know that I have come a long way, not just because of that, but that's definitely one way that I can see. Again, though, I just want to remind you all to always make time for yourselves because you matter too. I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you all again next time.